Last week, we started our journey on the country roads to Fallout 76 by looking at the original Fallout game from 1997. In my research for that video though, I came across one thing repeatedly. A debate. Which of the classic Fallout titles is better? Fallout 1 or Fallout 2? Well, today we throw our 2 cents into the mix. Welcome to How Bad Can It Be, the series where we look at games so you don't have to. And yes, today we're looking at Fallout 2. Released in 1998, Fallout 2 was developed by Blackout Studios and is published by Bethesda Softworks. With that out of the way though, let's get right into it, shall we? We already did a lore breakdown of Fallout in my previous video, so if you were looking for a breakdown, I'm sorry one isn't here for you. But you can always check out my previous Fallout video by clicking that little eye up there. Yeah. Fallout 2 takes place a full 80 years after the original and 164 years after the Great War. Starting off though, this game feels like it could be 500 years before the war, because our first mission is to Indiana Jones our way through an Aztec looking temple. What? Well, it turns out that in Fallout 2 you play as a descendant of the Vault Dweller, the protagonist of the original game, and are part of a tribe of people who worship him as some kind of messiah who brought good fortune to the wasteland. You, as the descendant of the Vault Dweller, have been selected as the chosen one, but first you must make it through this ant and rat scorpion infested temple and don the Vault 13 jumpsuit and Pip-Boy of Fallout 1, which your tribe has made a shrine out of. As insane as this sounds, because it is insane, there is a purpose to all of this. Your quest for this game, similar to that of the previous title, is to save your tribe from starvation. To do this, you need to find a Garden of Eden creation kit, otherwise known as a GECK, a device created long before the events of Fallout 2 as a way of restoring the environment post-apocalypse. That was a lot to take in, I know, but I also want to touch upon the plethora of side quests in this game. There are a good few of them that you can immediately sink your teeth into and are all pretty engaging. Fallout 2 is also where the now trademark Fallout quirkiness comes into play, most notably for the dialogue. Fallout 2 allows players way more sarcastic, witty and even straight up mean dialogue choices, some of which are absolutely hilarious to read. I think I've blabbered on about the story elements and features long enough though, so why don't we just get straight into the presentation. There isn't really too much to say here. Being released only a year after the original, Fallout 2 does borrow a lot of features from its predecessor. Being 20 years old, I'm still not expecting something incredible, but I will break it down regardless. Still using the same trimetric format that we discussed last week, Fallout 2 does make some slight improvements graphically, with areas like the temple being a lot more visually interesting than most things I came across in Fallout 1. While me not expecting the heavy tribal imagery definitely has an effect on this, I definitely found it interesting nonetheless. The graphics of Fallout 1 were already pretty impressive and holding up fairly well for its age, and Fallout 2 just improved upon that standard set the year prior. Another major improvement in my eyes is the use of 3D models. The look of characters during dialogue is vastly superior compared to the original, and enemies like rad scorpions and geckos look pretty damn good too. Especially with the moving animations for the geckos, I was really impressed with that. This doesn't always work though, as the Vault Boy used in the intro looks absolutely horrifying, and will be burned into my memories until the day I die. The audio on the other hand seems to have some slight improvement also, and when I say slight, I mean slight. The voice acting is still very dated but seems to be a tiny bit better than the original, and the music is barely worth a mention, with the soundtracks from both games being practically identical. Due to the tribal background of your character though, the soundtrack does seem a little more fitting than the original game. Feeling like the first game, Fallout 2 could easily be a tabletop RPG due to the way the games were designed. I will say though that despite this game feeling more open in terms of what kind of character you can play, Fallout 2 does feel a lot closer to the newer games in the series, which I think takes away from the traditional RPG feeling that the first one delivers so nicely. The old enemy of no autosaves is still here though, and it's ready to kick you right where it hurts yet again. While the decisions I made seem to have less consequences overall in Fallout 2, it was the combat that I found to sting me when it comes to autosave. This combat is still using that turn-based approach too, with the limit of AP spread across your attacks, movement and inventory. This can still be quite the challenge, with the balancing of these tasks taking a little getting used to. I am however still 50-50 on the combat in this game, but I will explain why. You see, in Fallout 2 they improved upon the percentage to hit mechanic. Now when I play, I feel like I'm actually attacking with skills that are representative of the amount that I'm hitting. It's actually wonderful. My high melee skill, the form of combat I'm trying to focus on in all of these games, actually translated to being able to hit my foes on a near constant basis, and it was amazing. To take away from my glee though, it's the speed of the game. This game feels so slow in comparison to Fallout 1. Doing anything in this game takes a lifetime, with your character being able to move a certain distance at a time, despite seeing much further on the screen. This leads to scenarios like this one, where I'm just trying to leave my settlement, and I have to constantly click around to find the move limit, click there, and click further to make my character move out of the map. It's so dull and unnecessary. The final thing I want to talk about is random encounters. Something that I didn't mention in Fallout 1, random encounters can occur when travelling from place to place. In the first game, this was fine. I barely thought of it as worth mentioning, as you'd come across some people or some scorpions that you can take down with relative ease. In Fallout 2 though, these encounters, while optional, can really mess you up. You can come across hordes of enemies, all of which will be way tougher than you, and it will easily kill you, so you're best off ignoring them. I guess that leaves me with one question though. Fallout 2, how bad can it be? This game, when initially picking it up, was something that I heard nothing but good things about, and as a massive fan of the Fallout franchise, I really wanted to sink my teeth into it, and it's pretty safe to say that it lived up to its reputation. Fallout 2 currently sits at £7.99 on Steam, and while that's definitely worth it in terms of its quality, I'm gonna have to recommend you pick this one up on sale, or maybe even bundled with Fallout 1. Both of these are old games, so you're gonna get easily frustrated, especially if you're a newer, more casual or younger gamer. At the time of recording, Fallout 2 sits at a very nice 93% Steam rating and a very commendable 86% Metacritic rating. And whilst the game is certainly very good, even better than Fallout 1 in most ways, it does feel a bit like a Fallout 1 expansion pack as opposed to a sequel to Fallout, and I can't really give it too much credit for that. With the slow pace, fairly lackluster use of the same soundtrack and assets throughout the game, I cannot justify giving Fallout 2 a higher score than Fallout 1. So that being said, my final score for Fallout 2 is an 8 out of 10. Very good, equally as good as the first one, and definitely worth picking up, but it could have been much more. Well, that's all I got time for today. I really hope you enjoyed watching this Fallout 2 review. If you did, why not hit that little thumbs up right there? It's a great way of letting me know that you enjoy what I do. Have you played Fallout 2? If so, leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. I'd love to discuss this game a little bit further with you. If you haven't played Fallout 2 though and want to, do not worry. In the description you can find links to Fallout 2 on Steam, as well as GOG and Humble Bundle. Subscribe today for future VividChim content, but if you want that content a little bit early, why not do me a favour and go check out the just relaunched VividChim Patreon. I'm posting behind the scenes stuff, outtakes, etc. over there, as well as the ability to watch these videos 24 hours before their public release. If you want new content right now though, why not click one of the videos that have appeared on the screen? It will take you to some more of my videos straight away. As always, I've been Kane from VividChim, and I'll see you all soon.